在上面，如果你们想要了解一下我们今天 FWD Takaful 要share 一下关系到什么 information 的话，你们也是 这一个是 open for public， 如果你们要听的话，也是可以过来这里啦。Alright, siapa-siapa yang nak dengar tu boleh je dorang ke sini hadir sebentar to get to know more the importance of FWD Takaful and the importance of FWD having the inclusivity protection for all. Okay, so just to frame our session, today we'll explore the challenge faced by families with persons with disabilities, okay, and why inclusion matters and how FWD Takaful and partners are working together to create this meaningful, changes for them. Please.
Salam sejahtera dan a very good day to all of you who are present today. I'm Padma Raman. I am one of the parents myself, and I'm also the Parents Teachers Support Group Chairman of a pre-vocational center in Klang, Klang 103. So how we can work together with all the corporations, including FWD Takaful, is that special needs kids need a lot of support from the community, especially those who are in the spectrum. We lack of inclusion at the moment in our country. We really lack of inclusion because they don't have access to many things, and partly because of financial issue, education, lack of proper education and program, as well as healthcare. So this is where when we come together, multiple NGOs, corporations, including FWD support, financial support, which they have done for NASOM in the past, this will enable us to set up the relevant program for schools. And I do want to mention that FWD Takaful have also contributed to NASO and enabled us to actually set up a pre-vocational school in Bandar Puteri Klang. So this is just one of the examples.
Okay, so apa yang diterangkan oleh Miss Padma sebentar tadi, okay, it's more towards like a community voice lah, okay, di mana beliau pun dah experience bekerjasama bersama family members, okay, and next let's head to Mr. Julian, okay, so from a broader perspective, okay, daripada apa yang diterangkan oleh Miss Padma sebentar tadi kan, how does Malaysia compare to other countries in terms of inclusion and protection for PWDs?
Thank you. So basically, Malaysia, I believe we are improving. We are not there yet compared to the countries like US, UK, and Japan. But however, having been involved in various partners, various government agencies, and so on, NASOM have actually engaged with all of these partners and collaborate with them closely to ensure that not only autism but also other PWDs in Malaysia that we need to help out. And of course, you can see more and more initiatives coming up from the government to assist in terms of the disability community and so forth. So I think what we need to do is not only NASOM, but we need to work together with other organizations in Malaysia, as well as the collaborators like FWD and other corporate companies, where we need to promote more awareness, what are the challenges faced by our community, highlight it to the government, highlight it to the individuals, to the public, that all this community requires help and requires assistance. So we cannot do it alone, and what we need is actually an alliance with all forms of NGOs and even corporate companies and so on, to work together, and then we can deliver a message to, let's say, our government to promote more and come up with more initiatives. So I think in the last couple of years, we have made some progress where you have noticed that our current government have announced a lot of, I would say, goodies for the autistic community. But this doesn't come overnight. It takes years and years of engagement with the government. It can be up to 10 years or even more before anything really materializes, right? So unfortunately, we have to continue to be patient and continue to closely engage with various parties to see progress and achievements in various initiatives.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Julian. Alright, so nampaknya masih lagi dalam progress lah. Right, in our country. I mean, not to compare to other countries, but still we have to look at inwards, which is for our country. So hopefully, not just government itself, NGOs and all that will, spend more time in focusing more on these type of matters lah. Okay, next, continue on the principle of Takaful. Why special mat 2? So we've heard from the community perspective daripada two lebih VIP sebentar tadi kan. So let's bring in the principle of Takaful itself. So at its core, Takaful is about mutual cooperation and shared responsibility. But how does this principle relate to serving communities like the PWDs?
Thank you for the question. I think yes, in principle, Takaful is about solidarity, which is helping each other. That's the main principle of Takaful. So when we entered the market in 2019, we were given one problem statement: to be more inclusive. So in Malaysia itself, it's about 740,000 people are person with disabilities registered with the government, and most of these communities are not being covered or not being included in the what you call it, protection punya scheme lah, like insurance product and whatnot. So this represents about 2.2% of the population, which is quite a lot, substantial. And that's where when we come into the country, the brand is all about changing the way people feel about Takaful. We design a product, we push the boundaries to have a product that provide protection for a person with disabilities. That's why we come out with Special Mat in 2022, and we do another iteration in 2023 where we do Special Mat 2.0.
Okay, so kalau nak kata secara ringkaskan sikit, so what do you think does this plan actually mean for the family members?
Okay, so Special Mat 2.0 is actually a hospital reimbursement plan. Yeah? Hospital reimbursement plan for person with disabilities. If you go to traditional insurance or Takaful product, they are being so-called not included. So we push the boundaries. We try to underwrite, to study, to work with the communities to provide the coverage to these people with this type of disabilities. Currently, we cover a few type of disabilities, including Down syndrome, autism spectrum, global learning disabilities, learning what I call speech disabilities, and also vision disabilities. So that's the product is all about. It's mainly focused on the underserved community with person with disabilities. So it covers age from 5 to 55. So I think one of the worries of the parents, person with disabilities, is that their children are unable to be covered. When they got sick and whatnot, they can't get the medical care that they need urgently. So this product gives the avenue for them to participate and to get that kind of services.
Okay, terima kasih Jifaiz. That sounds like a great initiative from FWD Takaful itself. So I think let's continue on with partnership and share responsibility. This one from both Ms. Fatma and also Julian. So just a simple question: what role do partnerships, as what you guys and your organization are doing right now, play in moving the needles for PWDs?
It's our role.
Yeah.
So as NASOM, as representatives of NASOM, we provide mainly the education. From an education perspective, right now we focus on early intervention, which is very key for the younger children. We call it early intervention program. And early intervention is really the foundation, the basis that need to be in place because currently we have very limited school or centers or support system which is well established in our country. So we do have the government school like the PPKI, the Pendidikan Khas. However, we don't have a complete program to address the early intervention for the younger children in the autism spectrum. So NASOM actually focuses on that. And NASOM also currently focusing into vocational as well as pre-vocational, which is also appears to be a bigger gap in our society because we don't have many centers or schools or vocational centers for youths, as well as young adults. So NASUM currently focuses on all that, as well as it also creates more awareness for people because yes, a lot of people are aware what autism is, but it needs to be further awareness created for the public to accept. Not just understand that there is some such thing as autism spectrum disorder, but also acceptance is very key, so that the children in the spectrum or the youths in the spectrum can be included, can be part of the inclusion and be part of the society at large.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Padma. More towards education and awareness lah. Okay, to let people understand the importance of inclusivity. Okay, what about Mr. Julian?
Yeah, so I kind of echo what Padma mentioned. I also very thankful for FWD who collaborated with NASOM since 2022 to come out with insurance product where I think all this while we don't have any specific insurance product tailored for the disability community. So having one of the first insurance company to come up with a product catered for autism, Down syndrome and so on, I think that really helps a lot of parents alleviate their worries, reduce their burden, and furthermore, FWD have come up with enhanced plan, which covers into the medical type of insurance plan. So, in fact, a lot of parents when we spoke to, basically were asking about how can we get insurance coverage. But also, we tried to collaborate with, or we tried to engage with the insurance association and so on. I think we understand insurance company basically worried about risk, right? And people with the disability may present more higher risk compared to a normal person, right? So, in terms of collaboration, what we can do is we can actually provide a lot of data. I mean, I can only speak for autism at this point of time because it's NASOM, right? So we can provide a lot of data in terms of mortality rate and so forth to help companies understand, or insurance companies understand, the risk is not as what they think it is, right? So if we have enough sufficient data and studies, and we can provide this data to the various companies of insurance, probably they can consider provide or offer some kind of tailored insurance product for the community. So, like I said, we normally can't work alone. We need to work with different partners and so forth. In other countries like US, they actually make it a law that insurance companies have to insure people with disabilities. Right? We don't have this law, so there's nothing much we can do other than engaging with insurance companies and government. But we can provide data. Right? So we have the data. We've worked very closely with UITM to do research and so on. So we've actually already brainstormed with them to see how we can gather more data in terms of this kind of area, so that we can provide this data and engage the insurance company to see whether they can consider and come up with various products for the community. I think there is a big market for it. It's just whether we can convince the companies to accept the risk. Right? The risk could be higher, right? But maybe your product could be tailored in a way that it covers this type of risk. And also, to echo what Padma mentioned also, we are now looking at vocational programs and so forth. On top of that, we're actually looking into what we call Smart Autism Village, right? So, as a parent of a special need, basically we have worries. Our worries is children started to grow older, they become teenagers, they become young adult, and then parents become old, and we don't know where to put them. And when we're not around, who's going to look after them? So we have come up with an idea to see whether we can set up an autism village where all of these autistic people can actually reside in this village. We give them a program to do. We can even maybe generate income and so forth. So at least to reduce the worry of parents that when they're no longer around, I still have a place where I can safely put my children into, and somebody will look after them. So various initiatives we have come up with, and we of course would like to collaborate with a lot of artists to make it a reality. And I would say it will take a couple of years before we actually see something materialize.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Julian. I think from outside perspective, as per what you guys mentioned just now, education and also initiative, these two goes hand by hand, very important. And also with the inside help, from Takaful, it kind of like makes the thing move faster, right? So rather than nobody really cares about it, so right now we are really happy to have FWD Takaful, taking also the external initiative to actually assist in making sure this happens. I personally trust that it's going to take quite some time, because as you said just now, I really love the idea where you take the concept from US, where it goes with the law itself. I mean, it might not be implementable yet in Malaysia, but hopefully they see that as a good, example lah. So talk about all this, right? We must be thinking about the future. So Mr. Faiz, for FWD perspective, what do you think the future will look like?
As FWD, okay, this initiative Special Med 2.0 that we do is actually the first step that we want to move into the future, where insurance company or Takaful operator can be more inclusive. So we're going to continue running this product to get more participants and get more data, and continue to collaborate with other partners, be it NASOM, Special Olympics, and other organizations that willing to work with us, and also to expand this product to be, and also to create awareness again to all the parents that have children with disabilities, person with disabilities, to participate with us. Because by the end of the day, as an insurance company, as we gather more data, the product can be more refined, more developed, and can be tailor-made for them. So we will continue to this journey. Like today, the engagement with all the general public in the mall is actually one of our initiatives to continue to develop and innovate for the future from a Takaful perspective.
Okay, great news. So I think that's it. That is from FWD Takaful perspective itself. I know you guys already explained like the concept and ideas for what you guys are doing right now. So what about the future for the PWD simulation? What do you guys think? Like each one of you can share some concept and opinion about it.
So for future for PWD, not just for the people in the autism spectrum, it's really something that Gillian mentioned, smart autism village, right? I think this is what everybody should be focusing, because while it looks like we are very in an early stage, but actually we have already started the project. NASOM have actually taken the first step to collaborate with many NGOs and also the government to set up, and we have a land, we have so-called land, and we have taken the first step, so it is going to be reality. But of course it's a matter of time, because we need to really get engagement from all parties, right, to make this a reality. So the future, I would like to just mention a story as we talk about the future. This is a real story that a brother of an autistic girl has shared with me, because her father had passed away and her mother is almost 75 years old, and the brother is the one who's taking care of the sister. Now he shared with me that every other day the mom will come. Whenever he sees the mom, the mother will ask him, when are you going to set up a day, a home, or an autism village concept to put my daughter in? And this is a concept that was actually mentioned by the girl's father many years ago, and the brother have taken up this as a personal initiative as well, and he works very closely with NASOM. So when he shared with me many years ago when my kid was young, it was an eye-opener for me, because it's a real vision, and this vision should materialize, and that is what I see future for all our PWDs.
Yeah, I mean, as what Tama already mentioned, I think the future is we have to look ahead. How can we assist more communities, disabled communities and so forth, not just autism, but many more others out there, to plan ahead, right? Because most often, if I use NASOM as an example, we always look current and maybe sometimes in the past. So when we look at current, we only focus on early intervention, educational programs, so we only cater for the younger age. So we keep on focusing on those newborns and so on and those areas. But sometimes we forget about the older ones. What happened to the older ones when you know, when the parents no longer around, right? Maybe many years ago when I was still younger, right, and I don't have children, I probably don't think about it. But when I have children now, and every year I look at my children growing up year by year, and they're getting older and older. And my special son now is already 17. So I also start to share the same worry as the other parents who have late adult, late teenage age, and also young adults, right? And time is ticking, and time is ticking very fast, right? It just in the blink of an eye now it's already October, right? And when we talk about this autism village, it was few years ago, as what Papa mentioned, and you know, I think it's more than 5 years. Started sometime in 2018 or 19. Right, but fast forward is already 5 to 6 years now. But of course, we have made progress. Although we want to make it faster, but most often is due to financial challenges. So this is what we need to overcome. If really we have Duranduntu, somebody just gave us some funding enough to open this smart autism village, I think by the next month we can actually get it up and running. But of course, we all hope for that. But so we continue to work with various parties to see how we can do it face by face and so forth. But, so I guess, like what I mentioned earlier on, the future is we really need to plan ahead, strategize. What lies ahead in the next 10 years, next 20 years. If we don't put this plan in place, and let's say if I'm no longer around, who's going to continue? So somebody has to put a plan in place and to ensure that there's continuity in terms of all of the initiatives that we are to execute. Otherwise, you know, somebody, I think will be running like a headless chicken with no way to go and no direction, and everything remains the same and no progression.
Okay, thank you so much for the insights from Ms. Fatma and also Mr. Julian, and not to forget Encik Faiz. So I think this will be a great insights that has been shared to the public members, and not to forget to Special Olympic Malaysia also, you know, being the partner with FWD Takaful, and also other partners that are already here. You know, we really do appreciate the efforts. You know, smallest effort brings the biggest outcome. You know, we don't know when it will be a reality, but as you mentioned just now, kalau tiba-tiba ada dunia tu, you know, something might fall, you know, things might just happen. You know, but I trust by then you guys are already prepared, well prepared enough with all the, you know, education, with all the information, experience and everything, and hopefully this thing will go through really well in the future. Okay, so I think before we end this panel, let's have a group photo session with all three of our panelists, and together with everyone. Alright, sekali lagi kita nak ucapkan terima kasih banyak-banyak to all three of our panelists for today. So sekali lagi boleh saya dengar tepukan gemuruh daripada anda semua. Tidak lupa juga kepada VIP kita yang ada pada hari ini, media partner kita, you know, our FWD Takaful